Hello colleagues. Today we have all gathered here to understand the role a manager plays in delivering the performance of his subordinate. In the next 20 minutes, we would take a deep dive into the nuances of our performance appreciation and competency evaluation process. You have all been managers for many years now, and you have been evaluating the performance of your teams year after year. In all these years, there are some strengths that you have already added to this process. However, you might have missed out on some finer aspects. This video will help you add those fine aspects. Right? Let's begin.
Why PACE? The Performance Appreciation and Competency Evaluation, or PACE, is a process which aligns individual and organizational goals. It also provides input for taking critical people decisions, which in turn drives the right employee behavior, hence supporting employee development. The objective of PACE is to build a high-performance culture at Hero MotoCorp, which enables us to enhance business performance. A very critical aspect of the entire PACE exercise is Samvad, which is the process of performance feedback dialogue between you and your employee. As Carl Jung once said, meeting of two individuals is like mixing of two chemical substances. If there is a reaction, both are transformed. The requisites of the Samvad process is creating a positive climate to discuss the development plan and managing challenging scenarios. This exercise emphasizes the role various stakeholders play or need to play in Samvad. Essentially, this would entail the roles that needs to be played by a manager and an employee to ensure that Samvad is executed to expectation and perfection so that it meets its strategic intent of development of our resources.
So, what is the role of the manager in the PACE process?
Managers play a critical role in delivering performance. Managers need to be able to consistently deliver performance and results and get the best possible performance from the teams and individuals they manage. Let's pay attention to the things we should be doing during PACE. Conduct performance feedback and dialogue, or Samvad as we call it. You as a manager should ensure that the employee does his or her self-assessment and is prepared with his or her facts and figures. He or she should do his or her homework and prepare factual data regarding his or her own individual performance. What about our homework? After all, we are going to evaluate someone for the whole year that has gone by. Hence, you must read your direct reports, self-evaluations, and identify any gaps between his or her perception of the year's performance and what you expected out of him or her. The most important part of the whole process is to have one-on-one dialogue with your direct report. You must ensure that you give enough notice to the employee so that he or she gets time to prepare and provide him or her a cohesive environment where he or she can express his or her views and concerns freely. Motivate the employee to share his or her successes and failures, if any, during the year.
So, let's have a look how an ideal performance feedback exercise should look like. Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, sir.
Great. As informed, the purpose of today's meeting is to discuss your last year's performance. If okay with you, let's clarify the meeting objectives before we begin, so that we both are on the same track.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Primarily, the meeting will cover following points. We will discuss each of the goals set for previous years with mutual consent, based on the requirement of the organization and our function. Post the discussion on goals, we will discuss plans for upcoming year, looking for your plans and company's requirement.
Pretty much. I hope we'll get some valuable outputs from the discussion which helps us in planning for the future.
Absolutely. So let's dive into your first goal, that is increasing the sale of domestic LED TVs by 15%. What we achieved was only 12.6% across entire product range. But if we look into LED TV sales, the increase is merely 9.2%, which was an area of concern the previous year also. Where do you think we are lagging?
So, we are a company targeting the premium segment, the cream of the lot present in the market. Our products are almost 25% more expensive compared to the cheapest brand available in the market. Also, if we compare our product with those of similar companies, we are still 10 to 12% higher.
But I don't think that's the major reason affecting sales. If we look at the economic survey, the income levels have gone up substantially. An increase in the number of premier customers is in fact overwhelming. So I don't think that's an area of concern.
That's pretty right. If we look at the overall sales of LED TVs in India, the most selling are 32 inches and 40 inches, whereas the premium customer mainly look for 40 inches and above. They are our target customers. They have the spending power and they are ready to spend more than a lakh for a television. If we look at our product in 32 inches and 40 inches category, we are lagging behind, and that is mainly due to pricing we have done for this segment. Though we are providing the best quality and after sales service, but the product is something which is need for the customer and not a luxury.
I agree with your thoughts, but let's first look at the premium category. Our sales have not increased much in that category too. What do you think is the reason for same?
Till last year, we were the only company which was selling Ultra 4K technology. When Samsung launched this technology in August, it made a great impact on us as its price is 6% lower than ours. And it is much sleek, occupying lesser space and thus looks aesthetically better. We could not capitalize on first mover advantage, and suddenly our share in that segment also has started coming down, which is a great threat to our organization.
But looking at the sales figure, the sales are lowest in the East as compared to other zones. As you are the East zonal head, it is your responsibility to have a regular check on sales and take necessary interventions. Could you please highlight the reason why this zone is not performing up to expected level?
Sir, our zone mainly comprises the middle class customers whose spending capacity is not as much as compared to the other zones. And if we look at the sales of 32 inches and 40 inches LEDs in our zone, it is the second best after Samsung. And this segment is best performing for us in the East zone. What I feel is that the customers in our zone are not very price conscious and ready to spend the maximum they can, but always look for a premium product. So that is a good market to target for 32 inches and 40 inches LEDs.
You understand that this is an industry with a lot of competition. The top 3 major players delivering almost the similar quality and service. Also, the new Chinese entrants have made a great impact on sales in entry-level products due to low pricing. So we really need to push our products hard to maintain our share in the market. So what are your suggestions in further improving our sales in your zone? Because we have to meet the company targets. Because we have to meet our targets this year so that we do not lose out to competition in the coming years.
I think we should more focus upon the entry-level segment in our zone so that we can be a leader in this segment also. The reason is that we are getting a positive response and feedback from our customers for our product, and if we really push hard in promoting and selling our product, we can definitely make a great impact and a huge increase in sales. We can focus on more promotional offers and schemes during festive season for the segment as to highlight our range to the maximum number of customers. Also, I would like to recommend some better training for our sales executives and executives at our service center. I have noticed that our sales executive in our stores are not assertive enough to sell the product. They have the knowledge, but the confidence needs to build among them so that we do not lose on prospective customers. It will lead to better customer satisfaction. Also, if we can have more service centers, it can be an additional benefit because this is the area which every customer asks for when buying a product. A customer does not want to travel or give any extra amount of time to the company to resolve the issue, as the product is a part of everyone's daily routine. So we are not really focused on the service.
Great. I think we have explored various areas of concern and the way we should work in future to meet targets and improve company's performance. I would really like you to take the lead and take some proactive measures so that we do not lose out on sales. Also, I would request you to provide regular updates so that we can collectively correct probable errors in time and take necessary measures to improve our performance. Also, I would like you to work closely with our manufacturing team and give them feedback about the products which we receive from our customers, sales executives, or service people. This will help them plan better and deliver products as per customer expectations and requirements.
At this point, the manager must finalize the score against the KRA mutually with the employee.
Anything else you would want to discuss or any help required from my end? Please feel free to ask me.
Yeah, actually, I am looking for a person with good analytical skills who can help us with the data analytics related to our sales so that we can identify the areas where we are lagging. Now, identify the best and the worst performing product in various regions in our zone, delivery time, and complaint resolution cycle across different dealerships and service centers, etc. This will help us better understand the trend and plan accordingly.
I think that's a great thought, and I will definitely discuss it with our functional head as soon as possible. Another thing which I wanted to discuss and would like you to concentrate upon is an area of development which you think you should focus upon in the next year, because development is equally necessary as achieving your performance goal.
I totally agree with you. I would like to work upon improving my prioritization skills. I find, sometimes difficult to handle too many jobs at a time, which lead to miss out the deadline for an important task.
I think you should reflect this need in your goal sheet next year, and we can prepare a systematic approach for achieving the same. This will definitely help you to grow as a better professional and also help achieve organizational goals with more efficiency. Well, thank you very much for your valuable time and appreciate your patience in discussing every issue in great details. I really look forward that you work with this company and make it a great success. I wish you all the very best for coming years.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
So, did you notice how the manager in this video went about conducting the entire exercise of one-to-one? If you noticed, the highlights of this performance feedback conversation were: manager and employee align on meeting goals and agenda at the beginning. The employee is given an opportunity to speak more and share his or her insights. Focus is on generating solutions for future actions. Also, it's not just the managers who need to do their homework and go prepared for a one-to-one feedback exercise. The employee has some set of responsibilities too before he or she gets into a performance feedback dialogue meeting. Think and note down any questions that you would like to ask the reporting manager. Be prepared to talk about your achievements and areas of improvement with your manager. Collate all facts, figures and proofs of the achievement during the year. Self-assess thoroughly. Document your achievements very clearly and fairly, specifically documenting what went well and what did not. Now that we have seen a video on how a one-to-one performance feedback exercise may be conducted, there can be situations where, though the intentions are all good and we go into a one-to-one to get the desired output, it still might just go haywire. Sounds familiar? I'm sure it does. Let's look at a similar situation live.
Hi Saurabh, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much, sir.
How has been the year till now?
It's been great, sir. We have accomplished a lot of tasks and achieved our goals.
Really? That's a big surprise to me. I think we had planned a lot of things at the start of the year. And a lot of job is still pending. How do you say that you have achieved? Strange.
Sir, I think we have drastically, reduced the breakdowns of the complete target.
Your goal was to achieve zero breakdown efficiency. Have we achieved that? No. Because of this problem, we have lost so many man hours. And in turn, what? Loss of sales. Who is accountable for it?
But sir, please understand, the breakdown that used to happen like every week previously has reduced to almost monthly now due to TPM and predictive activities which I've been, progressively running. If you want, we can simply go ahead and increase our periodic checks to take this figure down to zero almost.
I am not concerned with what was happening earlier. I am appraising you for which year? This one. That is what we need to focus on. You can't hide your face by saying that something happened in previous years. It doesn't help. Do you know the amount of work we lost because of breakdowns this month?
But sir, I would say you never came to me telling me what should be done, in order to reduce these breakdowns.
Do you think I have time to get back to every person? I have a lot of other things to do. So many people I am managing. If there was an issue, you should have come back to me. You should have asked me that I am stuck. Yeah, you need to understand. There are people, there is Jitendra, there are other people who have achieved in same limitations, in same pressures. So I have to use the same yardstick for everybody. There can't be different rules for different people.
Again, sir, I can only speak about myself. What efforts, what I've been putting it all this whole year. Sir, every individual has put in their efforts differently. I think they need to be rewarded accordingly.
That's my job, and I will do it my way, and you will be rated accordingly. This conversation is just not getting anywhere. Anything else?
No, I think we're good. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Wow, that was some feedback conversation.
If we analyze critically, few aspects came out glaringly in this video. The discussions begin on defensive note, as manager points mistake rather than appreciating some positive efforts. Manager was not prepared with critical incident diary required for entire year's evaluation, and thus one recent incident was being used as a basis for rating or evaluation. The discussion on goals at the beginning of the year was not given the seriousness, and thus at evaluation stage gaps are emerging. Now let's think of a scenario which you might have encountered during Samvad as a manager. Well, there could be many different ones, but let's look at a tricky one, where the employee takes you round and deviates from the agenda. Sound familiar? Let's have a look.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, sir.
Great. You must be aware the purpose of today's meeting. We are here to review your last year's achievement, and I think it's good that we relook at the objective of today's session, so that why we are here and we should be on the same track. I hope you agree.
Absolutely.
Perfect. So we will discuss each of your goals that we had set in the previous year, which was done with mutual consent, and of course based on the organization's need, right? Post the discussion in goals, we can plan for the upcoming year and also look at the plans which are required to meet out company requirements.
Pretty much. I hope we will definitely get some valuable outputs from this discussion, which help us in planning for the future.
Okay. My first question here, specifically the areas which you do not agree with me.
I need to strive to deal with people in a courteous and professional manner. I think I am already doing that.
You may be doing that to some extent, but as you are aware, there have been instances where people have come back and complained. See, it is imperative. You have a job where you have to, on daily basis, deal with a lot of people, and it always has to be with respect.
A lot of those people just like to complain. And I'm not the only one in the department who's had the complaint.
Do you believe that every one of these persons just likes to complain, or there were instances where the approach could have been a bit different?
I agree. In some cases, I did not treat the employee respectfully because the pressure is so high. In some cases, I have to be harsh with them.
I am happy you're able to visualize some examples. What happens when you do not treat a team member with respect?
Different things happen. Sometimes it may conflict, sometimes they go into a shell. In some cases, performance goes down.
So next time, something like this, if it happens again, something that really pushes you to the boundary, what can we do differently? Here. These are all very simple and good actions to take. All you need to do is prioritize. Which one? And any help that you need from me at any point in time, available. Whatever you want to discuss.
No, I think I've already shared my concern. Thanks for your support.
Well, this has been a really constructive discussion. Thank you very much for the same. And I think we should fix up a time to meet again and take a quick update. What is the right time?
I think 3 weeks is a good time to review this.
Sounds good. But any time in between, if you have an issue or a point of discussion, please walk in any time.
Sure.
All right? Thank you once again. That was some situation which you as a manager can get into. So, what are the learnings from this video?
Reaffirm the purpose of meeting and ensure that it does not go into unrelated areas. Ask questions to get examples of specific behaviors from employee and their impact on performance. Manager to carry these examples if the employee is not forthcoming. End on positive note by encouraging the employee to commit to specific short-term actions. Definitely, this video brings out the essence of the process of Samvad and throws out some do's and don'ts of a performance feedback dialogue exercise like do's. Be specific when recalling the situation. Be specific when describing the behavior. Acknowledge the impact of the behavior on you. Judge the behavior. Pay attention to body language. Use verbatim quote. Recreate the behavior if appropriate. Give feedback in a timely manner. Give your feedback, then stop talking. Say, I felt or I was to frame your impact statement. Focus on a single message. Be sensitive to the emotional impact of your feedback. Let's also pay attention to the things we should not be doing during Samvad. Assume. Be vague. Use accusation. Judge the person. Pass along the vague feedback to others. Give advice unless asked. Psychoanalyze. Generalize the word like always or never. Use example from your own experience. Quality your feedback by backing out of the description. Label your feedback as positive or negative. Sandwich your feedback message with words like but. It is also imperative that we prepare well for a Samvad. Now that we have gone through the do's and don'ts, let's have a look at the prerequisites of Samvad. All relevant data for the dialogue should be collated in advance. For example, MIS, any other data from other departments or relevant performance matrix to bring objectivity to the feedback. You must create a comfortable dialogue climate by setting a time and place much in advance. During Samvad, you should ask employee to reflect on his or her performance by ensuring that he or she fills up his or her self-assessment form. The focus of the dialogue or Samvad should be on results. You must look for overall performance and behavior patterns and identify key messages you wish to share. You must construct the dialogue on key points like expectation, results, gaps, competency and opportunities. Let's move ahead. We all know what a goal is, and we also know the fact that goals should be SMART. However, let's just go through the concept of SMART goals once again. The goals should be specific, so that there is clarity of objectives. Measurable, so that objective is quantifiable and clear indicators are defined to track progress. Achievable yet ambitious, so that it conveys an ambitious yet achievable target. Relevant, so that it is related to higher-end organizational objectives. And time-bound, so that deadlines can be clearly communicated. It is worthwhile to mention here the 7 steps of Samvad. The basic 7 steps are: opening dialogue or startup by explaining the purpose and creating a positive platform. Review of results by acknowledging contributions and reviewing KRAs. Appreciation and review by discussing positives and negatives of results achieved. Creating a list of tentative actions by involving the employee in the process. Discovering unique gifts of employee by competency evaluation process. Most importantly, establishing goals for problem analysis and working out best results. And closing the Samvad process by asking employee to summarize the agreed upon results and evaluating checklist in your own mind. Yes, we mentioned checklist. Let's see what the checklist looks like. Did he or she talk as much as I did? Did I listen to what he or she said? Did we get to the real causes of poor results? Did we agree on these causes? Did I show an appreciation of major accomplishments of the employee? Did we get some challenging goals for the next year? And is there a good chance that results will improve significantly as a consequence of this discussion? To err is human, as they say, and we all might end up conducting ourselves in a way which may defeat the objectives of Samvad unconsciously. So, let's look at some common pitfalls which might come across while scoring an employee. Central tendency, which is scoring everyone in the middle of the scale. Primary or recency effect, where a manager gets influenced by first or last part of the evaluation process. Stereotyping, wherein factors such as age, gender and race influence assessment. Halo or horn effect, where one aspect of performance influences other aspects. And finally, the similar to me effect. We all like someone who is like ourselves. In such cases, we might end up scoring such individuals higher than others. Let us also look at a list of words that can be used during Samvad to create impact during the process of dialogue. Getting just the right word to express the impact of the behavior has on you is important. The right word can help you keep your feedback from being vague. Finding the right word, however, isn't always easy. Hence, we have compiled this short list of descriptive, impactful words. Quality of feedback by backing out of the description. electrified, applaud, frantic, decisive, calm, sympathetic, balanced, captivated, tempted, amiable, conviction, diligent, better, accessible, inclusive, merit, reliable, sustain, strength, consistent, rewarded, competent, bright, ecstatic, cordial, gratified, satisfied, empowered, exceptional, feasible, guide, mutual, optimistic, proactive, transform, upgrade.
So friends and colleagues, we are sure that this session has given you requisite inputs to add more positivity to our process of Samvad and become a part of our endeavor towards ensuring that the strategic intent of aligning individual and organizational goals are met in the best possible manner. Thank you.